What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the 10-7 MMA. I'm DS, and I'm here with my guy, Dino Bam Bam.
What up, Dino?
What up, my brother?
It's chilling. Happy to have a non-themed card for once. It seems like it's been years since we've done that, so I'm lit. I'm excited.
As far as Fight Night cards go, definitely it's been a hot minute. I feel like the Fight Night cards have kind of like not that they're ever like, for the most part, spectacular, but I feel like they've kind of fallen off a little bit recently.
And these next 3 weeks are kind of or the next 3 cards, not 3 weeks, because we do have a bye week.
Oh, we do?
To use a football term, but we have an off week next week.
Thank God.
And then we get to come back to Bobby Green and Grant Dawson. Talk about a Fight Night main event.
That's
banger.
the main event?
That's the main event banger. So I know you guys will be excited for that. I'm not.
Yeah, but what they should be excited about is perhaps smashing that like button.
They should do that.
And ringing the little bell.
There it is. I just do this, and then you do the noise.
What else?
And then you can also follow us on Instagram at the107MMA, same way as it's spelled on this very channel. By the way, we had a pretty damn big last week and a half in terms of views and subscribers. Yep. I know we mentioned it last week, but we grew in subscribers a lot more. So thank you guys for doing that.
Thank you
and
guys
if you haven't
for that.
subscribed, do the things he's saying, smashing it and ringing bells and shit. That'd be awesome.
Smash it, brother. Yeah, welcome to the new subscribers. You know, I don't know how many of you guys are going to see this. I don't know how many of you are looking forward to the Hannah Goldy versus Mizuki and Inoue fight.
It's a good one.
Or, Jacob Malkoun, Cody Brundage, but we're going to cover it for you regardless.
That's what we do.
So let's get right into it, unless you have something else.
No.
Let's get right into it. We've got 11 fights on the docket. The first one of the night, Montserrat Rendon making her debut at 135. Her UFC debut. She only has 5 professional fights as it is, and she's taking on Tamiris Vidal. Dino Bam Bam, what do you think about this first fight of the night?
All right, let's start with Montserrat Rendon, the newcomer, 34 years old, 5-0. As you mentioned,
and just that alone.
That alone, I don't get the signing.
Yeah.
You're
seems 34. You had a split decision on the regional scene.
And it was very sus, too.
It was a very sus split decision. You're 34. You're not out here just knocking ladies out.
But I got to take it for what it is, and I assume it's the UFC pandering to the Mexican crowd again.
Yeah, I feel like she was like a straggler from the last
Right, and
card.
we've been getting that lately, right?
Yeah, they got one or two.
Right.
It's like
the French card finishes,
the next
card.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, but maybe for the next Noche UFC, we got Montserrat Rendon. Anyways, 4-0 or 5-0.
Hopefully not.
Yeah. Okay, she's a grappler. She just looks to get the takedowns. She throws jabs and she throws all this bullshit just to get into the clinch. She wants to take you down. She comes in with the hands super duper high, and it's always funny to me when you see these people that are just grapplers.
Yeah. And
they come in with this whole charade that they're trying to bang.
Yeah.
It's that's absolutely not what you're doing. We have a few of those on this card. She's the first of them. She is strong. She is big for the weight class. She's 1-0 in Invicta. She's also fought at Combate Global. She had a grappling match in Budo Cento, so decent leagues.
Yeah, the grappling match, who was that against?
Some person, I have no idea.
It was against Juliana Miller. And
was it Juliana Miller?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting.
So she has a loss to Y'all's Girl.
That's a Y'all's Girl.
Juliana Miller in grappling. So she's a grappler. Take that with a goddamn grain of salt, because she does have a loss in grappling to Juliana Miller. She's 34 years old. I think I haven't made my pick yet, but I think you're pretty clear on where I'm going with this. But finish your thoughts, please.
So let's move on to her opponent, Tamiris Vidal, jiu-jitsu girl. She throws heavy. She's also trying to pin you up against the cage and take you down, but she does it in a much more effective way.
Yeah,
she's much more threatening.
Yeah,
she's short, but she's very stocky.
Stocky, bro. She's jacked.
She has good power, man. We saw her knock out Ramona Pascal. Speaking of big, Ramona Pascal is humongous for any weight class in the UFC.
Big ass for it. No,
big ass girl. She knocked her out pretty damn bad.
She's trash, though.
Yeah, she is bad, but Tamiris Vidal knocked her out. To me, it's a no-brainer. Vidal's a lot better. She's 10 years younger.
Yep.
I don't know if she's going to get the finish, but I'm picking her by finish. I'll say round 2 TKO. Minus 250 is bananas, because Tamiris Vidal needs to be a minus 600.
Yeah, and we never say that.
Never. About women's MMA, especially.
Yeah. But we literally, almost never will we say, oh, the odds need to be wider, because Vegas doesn't want you to make money, right? So to me, this is an easy money-making opportunity. Tamiris Vidal, just look at her, right? And look how she's not technical, but she throws bombs.
Bombs.
She throws bombs. She's stocky as hell. this poor 34-year-old like woman, somebody's mom, is not ready for this. Like, she's gonna get the KO finish, man. Like, I think she's gonna get in the first round. I don't know that it'll be like a straight KO, but like you said, probably a TKO. Just a weird signing, weird fight. Montserrat Rendon, certainly not long for the UFC.
And Montserrat Rendon born on March 16th, so Rendon 316. I'm just saying.
Right. I mean, if she wins, I guess we can try to, so you can pitch that to somebody, see if it sticks.
It's not going to stick.
Next fight of the night, we've got Mizuki Inoue making her UFC return. She's still only 29 years old. Mm-hmm. Versus OnlyFans model Hannah Goldy.
24K.
Hannah Goldschmidt, by the way. Did you know that was her actual name?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't know either, honestly. Yeah, Hannah 24K Goldy. I mean, I guess I'll take this one first. For me, like I said, this is Inoue's first fight back in 3 years.
Yeah.
But before that, I mean, her last fight was in 2020, in August of 2020, so pretty much exactly 3 years ago.
Yeah.
To Amanda Lemos. And she survived. I mean, she got whooped, right? But unanimous decision. But, I mean, she didn't get knocked out. She has a win over Yanan Wu. It was a split decision, but still. She fought Verna Jandiroba to a split decision. We know Verna's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
So, and that was at Invicta. So, she's still young. I was kind of shocked at how young she still is. I believe she's 29, I want to say.
Yeah, yep.
So, she's fought way better competition. I mean, way better competition. She had a fight of the night with Alexa Grasso, too, by the way. Mm-hmm. And we won't get too far into that. But pretty damn good on the feet. It's been a while since she's fought, but I think she's young enough where... I don't know if she had injuries or anything like that, by the way.
It was a torn ACL.
Oh, she did? Okay. Mm-hmm. Damn, 3 years is a long time, though.
Yeah.
But, again, maybe she wants to work on her craft. I'm hoping so. She's young enough, basically, is what I was trying to say, where I can understand the gap. Hopefully she was working on herself. For me, Hannah Goldy, I mean, all you need to know is she was finished in the first round by
Meatball Molly.
And Meatball Molly has since been exposed. Neither of them have really fought good competition. So this is a very, very straightforward one. I mean, Hannah Goldy, she's got some toughness. Inoue's first fight back, I don't know that she gets the finish. I'm going to go Inoue by decision, but I'm going to go by like a pretty clear 30-27 in this one.
Okay, I gotcha. I just want to add in a couple things. So with Inoue, again, it was a torn ACL. It's been a very long time, so you would hope that she has recovered.
I mean,
she's definitely recovered.
The injury shouldn't be a factor in this, unless it was like complications.
Right.
And
yeah.
Shit.
So I don't know the story. So I just kind of wonder why 3 years as opposed to a year or a year and a half.
Me too.
Hopefully it was her just getting better or whatever. And then Hannah Goldy, the way she looks, you would assume she's a very heavy grappler. Like, she is short. She's very, like, stocky, thick, strong-bodied.
Yeah.
But she's not. She's like a cardio fighter.
Yeah.
She's like a cardio striker.
Yeah.
Without too much power.
Yeah,
which
no
is,
power.
It's kind of crazy. Last time out, as you mentioned, she did get knocked out by Meatball Molly, who was on a little run. She has been exposed since then. I know losing to Molly isn't a great look, but the odds on this fight are really swaying me to go the side of Hannah Goldy, who is the underdog. Because the odds on this...
Mind,
well, hear me out, though. And I do think Inoue is the better fighter.
The odds aren't that crazy.
Minus 300 is wild to me.
Minus 250 is what I'm saying.
They might have shifted. When I looked at them, they were minus 300. And yes, Inoue is the better striker. Probably the better striker. She's definitely the better grappler. She is the better overall fighter. She's younger. But I don't like minus 300 at all for women's MMA, is all I'm trying to say.
This is an occasion where I'm, like, comfortable with it.
Fair. So as a pick, I'm going Inoue.
Yeah.
But I am going to sprinkle on Hannah Goldy and Tamaris Vidal as a first two-fight parlay, because I think there's some money to be made. 3 years off with an injury.
I really don't think so.
Here's what I'm saying. 3 years off with an injury. It's like, that worries me already. It's a very long time.
I understand the logic.
And then humongous odds. Like, there is a chance
that... Not that crazy, though. Minus 300?
I think it's a
even
bit,
if it was even.
I think it's a bit wide for someone that's 1-1 in the UFC that hasn't fought in 3 years. Is all I'm saying.
But Hannah Goldy's not a world beater. She's like actually had good fights with.
And she was 26.
She was 26,
25
29
for some of those
old,
fights. It's not, but the odds are scaring me. Anyways, I am going Mizuki Inoue by decision. However, I'm doing a parlay on those first two fights, Tamaris Vidal and Hannah Goldy. And I think if we make some money there, We're playing.
Oh, that's a nice parlay to get your night started off with. That's for
We're also
sure.
not a betting podcast, so don't listen to us.
Right.
Don't bet. Don't bitch if our bets lose. That's not what we're here for.
Dude, I've been on a tear.
You have?
I've been over 75% every card for the last like 5-6 cards. So
yeah. So do you want them to gamble?
I mean, shit. I'm just letting you know, man. Do with that info what you will. You know what I mean? I'm not your dad. Moving on to the third fight of the night, and my goodness, I mean, this is just a banger. It's Jake Collier versus Mohammed Usman. It's obviously at heavyweight. Dino, please let me know what you think about this just wild fight.
All right, let's start with Jake Collier. He's a striker. He is fairly quick for his size and the way he looks. He has good cardio, which you wouldn't assume.
He's just a fat middleweight, that's why.
Right. We always talk about how he is a former middleweight, and I'm sure that plays into the speed and the cardio, right? Like,
yeah, I just love the concept of like, I don't really like cutting weight. Like, I'm gonna bulk up. I'm literally just gonna gain like 40 pounds of fat, like 60 pounds of fat.
Right.
And he's not like he comes in at like 250. Like,
he's a big boy, yeah.
He comes in at well, I think he comes in at 265, right?
Probably.
265 and a half.
Yeah, there it is.
And
he's just
half too. And also, you gotta love the prototype. The prototype. What, my boy?
So, anyways, he is on a 3-fight losing streak right now, but it's not to like the worst guys in the division. I know we talk about it all the time. You specifically are very outspoken on the shittiness of the heavyweight division and how they all
Jake
suck.
Collier is like the poster boy for that.
I feel you.
But also, can we just be honest, though?
Yeah.
It's not just a 3-fight losing streak, okay? It's a 3-fight losing streak. Mm-hmm. But then if you just look a little bit past that, it's like...
a win here, a loss there. A win here, a loss there.
But it's like, literally, you've lost like 5 of your last 7, and you're on a 3-fight losing streak.
Right, 5 of your 7. But here's the thing. Not the
and
worst...
you lost to Jan Vellante and Chase Sherman. Or you beat Jan Vellante and Chase Sherman, I'm sorry.
Right. His losses were to Tom Aspinall, big boy Carlos Felipe, right? And then it was Andre Arlovsky, Huggy Bear, and Martin Boudet.
There were 2 splits in there, too.
And Martin Boudet. Like, not the worst guys to lose to.
No.
It's definitely not that, like, bottom-of-the-barrel level heavyweights that he's losing to. He's beating those guys.
Yeah.
Is my point. Anyways, those guys are not easy outs. He's fighting Mohammed Usman, Kamaru Usman's little brother, of course. Tough winner.
Older brother.
Yeah. So did I say little brother?
Yeah.
He's definitely not little. He's a big boy
dude,
himself.
Yeah. He's juicing for sure.
Former tough winner. He is mostly a striker. He has very good power.
You think he's mostly a striker?
I think he's mostly a striker. He has good power, but he's been transitioning towards the wrestling.
Like his credentials
last
are
few
more,
fights.
I feel like,
well,
wrestling.
He's a football guy.
But
he wasn't
wrestled,
a wrestler.
But he wrestled too, though.
Right, but he wasn't like a standout wrestler.
No,
but
he wasn't.
He came in as a striker. He's been transitioning towards takedowns and wrestling as of late, which good for him. It's been working out. He's been winning. He sits back, he waits for the kill shot, and he does throw absolute bombs. Is he well-rounded? I don't think he's very well-rounded or very super, like doesn't have super high skills, but he's solid.
Not fast. He's not that skilled.
Right. The funny thing is, if you look at these two, if you compare them like physique-wise,
oh my god,
and you show somebody who's never seen MMA in their lives, like, or they don't know these guys, and you're like, this guy versus this guy, they're gonna be like, yeah, Mohammed Usman is going to win this fight.
And I agree heavily.
Fair, but I'm just saying, it's like, it's not just that. Like, there is a path for Jake Collier to win this fight. I just don't see it. I think he needs this fight if he wants to stay in the UFC, and unfortunately,
it's time.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. I think Usman's a little too powerful. I think he's going to be able to hurt Chase Sherman, Jake Collier on the way in. Worst comes to worst, he does have that wrestling that he could rely on. I'm going Usman by decision.
Yeah, I'm going to go Usman by knockout, ground and pound, probably in the first round.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very interesting. I would definitely hammer the over on this fight. I think they're both, like, pretty...
Yeah, you know what? You're probably
right.
You're probably right. You're probably white. You're probably right. But I still think Usman does get the finish at some point by TKO. Okay. It's probably not going to be in the first round. I take that back. But Mo Usman's nothing special, man. I also just want to say, like, I feel like they're really trying to squeeze out that Usman last name.
Yep.
They're babying the shit out of this guy, dude.
Like, but then what happens? What happens when Mo Usman gets to 4-0, and he's beating 4 guys, and then what? Then you just start feeding him to these top 8 guys that are going to dog him? That's what I'm saying,
and I think they know that. I think that's why they're doing it. They're like, I'm going to feed you these, like, you're going to go, like, literally one by one. Like, one rank up, one rank up, one rank up, one rank up. Because they know by the time he gets to like Marcos Rogerio de Lima.
Gets killed.
He's gonna get rocked, dude.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. So for me, this is a pretty straightforward one. I feel like there are a lot of fights on here that are like pretty clear what's gonna happen. Like pretty clear one sided. And then the other theme I picked up on here, a lot of wrestler versus striker matchups.
Yeah, a ton.
Right?
Like, what does Alexander Romanov do to Mo Usman?
Oh my god.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god.
I think Martin Buday probably beats him.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know?
I think so too. And I don't think particularly highly. I could see him winning that one. He's probably around there.
I'd like to see a Tybura Mo Usman fight if he can get into the rankings.
Fuck him up.
I think all those guys beat him. I think they all beat him.
Yep. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got on that. I mean, just I get it. I get why they're doing it. Just just not going to be the funnest fight in my opinion. But we'll see. Moving on to the fourth fight of the night, it's Jacob Malkoun versus Cody Brundage. They're obviously at 185. I guess I'll go first on this one. For me, I mean, it's an interesting fight, right? Because Cody Brundage looked just god-awful.
Against SD?
Against, Cedric Dumas last time. I think I had a little bit of money on Brundage, so I remember that very vividly.
Yeah. Dude, because he was supposed to win that fight.
He was supposed to win that fight because Cedric Dumas he's not a grappler.
Yeah.
He's a kickboxer. He's not a grappler at all. And also a very raw prospect at that, too. So, didn't look amazing his first fight. Looked like a world beater versus Cody Brundage, though. Cody Brundage did not look like he wanted to be there. For me, I know it's one performance, but when you just literally look like you don't want to be there, like you just want to go home, I think that says a lot about your heart, your fighting spirit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, how many times have you seen GSP quit? How many? Like, I know that's an extreme, but like, how many times have you seen Dustin Poirier quit? How many times?
Especially when your job is potentially on the line.
Exactly, and that's not even counting real world repercussions.
Right.
Like you just said, very well said, very good point. So I don't know, man. For me, is Jacob Malkoun anything special? Not really. I mean, certainly not. But Brother just had some good performances. Like, he's so inconsistent. Like, there are times where you're like, damn, like, this guy's back on the upswing. His wrestling's really good. He's got some power, but yeah, I mean, for me, losing so badly in what was like a good stylistic matchup for you last time out, I just don't see it. So for me, I have to go with Jacob Malkoun. I'm going to go by decision because, Jacob Malkoun, he's got some power himself. He's not like a world beater by any means. He's not like, this crazy finisher or anything like that. I believe the last time that he was involved in a finish was when Phil Hawes knocked him the fuck out in like late 2020.
Yeah.
And before that, the last finish that he got himself was a KO against Christoph Van Dijk in Wollongong Wars 7 in 2019.
Nice. Yeah,
so
I was there.
Yeah. So, for me, another pretty... Now, look, I don't feel as strongly about this one because, again, Cody Brundage is so inconsistent, so I could see him just pulling some shit out of his ass. But Malkoun's a good wrestler, too.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he's got more power, and he's got more heart. So I got to go Malkoun by decision in this one.
I agree with literally everything you said, down to exactly how I think this fight's going to play out. I am going Jacob Malkoun by decision. I wouldn't be shocked if Brundage won this fight.
Me neither.
That's why the odds are a little surprising. He's at plus 360 right now.
Brundage?
Yeah, which
that's
is
a little,
so. Yeah, that's
a
much
little aggressive. Yeah,
because both of these guys, regardless of what it is, they're two wrestlers and they both throw heavy.
Right.
Right. So it's like someone can totally get caught and get slumped early in this fight.
100%.
Surprisingly, Jacob Malkoun, the younger fighter here. I would not have expected that. I thought Jacob Malkoun was like 32. He's 28. So go figure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. How old's Cody Brundage? Like
29.
30? Okay, 29.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair. Okay. Is that all?
Yeah.
Cool. Moving on to the next fight. And this, for me, is an interesting one.
Yeah.
Tim Means, the wily UFC veteran, 32-15-1. At 170, he's taking on Andre Fialho, who at one point I thought has potential to be a my boy.
Of course.
16-7, though. Things have not gone his way recently. What do you think about this one?
All right, let's start with Tim Means.
You're getting all the fun fights, by the way.
You think so?
You're starting off with all the good ones, yeah.
All right, Tim Means, the Dirty Bird, 39 years old, solid striking, solid grappling, as you would expect from a guy that's fought 25, 26 fights in the UFC.
Super high fight IQ. He knows what he's doing.
Exactly. He's been there. He's done that. He's faced fighters of all different styles. He is on a 3-fight losing streak here as is Andre Fialho.
Yeah.
So both of these guys desperately need a dub here. Fialho, good striking, good power. As you mentioned, he was absolutely on fire when he entered the UFC.
Man, he looked like a, you remind me of like a slightly smaller Duplessis.
Yeah, I mean,
and not
that's
as
an interesting.
wild,
Yeah,
like,
that's
I mean?
interesting.
Yeah.
I get it. And he looked like he was legit, man. He looked like he could beat anyone in the division on a good night. It looked like he had the power and all that. Then we started to find out that once he went up a little bit in competition, that crazy shit's not going to work for you all the time, and leaving your chin exposed like that is not going to work all the time. And to add on top of it, now I think we're getting to the point where we could say his chin is a little sus.
I think so, man.
Right?
You hate to see it, you hate to say it.
Hate to see it, hate to say it. But again, both guys are on a 3-fight losing streak.
And by the way, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but like his last win in the UFC too, Cameron Van Camp. He's not in the UFC anymore.
Right.
He's a bare knuckle now.
Yeah,
so
I get it.
You know, not that we thought Cameron Van Camp was like a
superstar or anything.
World beater then. But,
yeah.
You know.
But yeah, both guys on a 3-fight losing streak. Both guys probably need this win to secure a contract.
By the way, he has a loss to Chidi Njokuani too in 2016.
Interesting.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you this real quick because I'm curious because I was going back and forth myself. These are two guys on losing streaks, but they're two guys in two very different positions.
Right.
Do you think the loser, no matter who it is done?
I could see them keeping Tim Means around.
That's exactly what I was kind of leaning towards because like Tim Means is going to put on a good show. You know he's not going to have a boring fight.
Right.
Until he's like fully done. So
I don't know that they'll cut either one of them.
I wouldn't
Fialho,
want to, but man, like it's hard to justify after that.
A 4-fight losing streak is tough. The only reason
it's not like it's like pretty good fighters, but like
right, it's not the cream of the crop.
Right.
Yeah, I think they would keep Tim Means around if he lost because he would still be over 500 in the UFC. He's still a guy that you could put on any card that brings he
has some name value.
Exactly.
Like, if you have big names, but like
the fight with him and Kevin Holland.
Yeah, exactly.
It made a lot of sense. Yeah. Anyways, I'm taking Tim Means here, man. I'm gonna take the vet with 26 UFC fights. I'm taking him by decision. I'm thinking that in this situation that they're both in on a 3-fight losing streak, I have to. Tim Means doesn't have the power to put Fialho out with one shot. He's not that kind of fighter.
Not one shot, but
accumulative, he could do it.
I think he catches him I could picture him visibly wobbling the shit out of him, and then Tim Means is gonna get that finish. He's gonna go for that finish.
Right. So, yeah, I gotta trust the guy who's been there, done that, as opposed to the guy who seems like at this point he might just be a flash in the pan. So Tim Means by decision. If he could avoid that kill shot, he has a bunch of ways of winning this fight.
Oh, certainly the more well-rounded fighter. I mean, so much more experience. Dude, Tim Means looked pretty good in his last fight. Was it against, what's his name? Morono? Alex Morono? Yeah, Alex Morono. Yep. I mean, I know that was a crazy guillotine that Alex Morono threw up too, by the way.
Which is what Alex Morono does. That's his thing.
I know, that's his favorite submission. But even Tim Means after was like, yo, like as soon as he tapped, he was like, dude, like that was
good
sick.
shit.
But I guess that it goes to show you there's something to be said about fighting that relaxed too. Mm-hmm. When you're that much of a veteran, like this is just a day at the office, you know?
Yeah.
I initially was really trying to convince myself to pick Fialho. He's got good power, but the fight IQ is just sometimes not great, and you're going against a guy who's the exact opposite of that. Fialho, as I looked through the film and as I thought about it a little more, I was like, I'm going Fialho, even though it's close.
Yeah.
And then I switched to Tim Means. I'm going with Tim Means too. I hate that we're agreeing on everything today so far, even this underdog pick. But
yeah.
It's
similar to Cody Brundage, right? Like in the sense that it's just like the IQ seems to go out the window at times.
100%.
Like I think Cody Brundage could have been and could be a better fighter than he is.
He should be.
Same thing with
He's got the talent.
Right, and I think Andre Fialho could have been fighting ranked guys if he was a safer
by this
fighter.
point in his career, dude,
yeah.
100%.
So
I will say he looked a little bit more composed versus Buckley, but then he got caught.
Right.
So that kind of goes out the window. I was leaning on youth and speed, but man, my gut is just telling me Tim Means, this is the exact kind of guy that he will beat, even at 40 years old. So I'm going to go Tim Means by late first round, early second round KO. How did you pick, by the way?
Decision.
Decision. Yeah, I don't even see that, honestly. I see him just getting straight up knocked out.
I feel that.
Moving on to the sixth fight of the night. I got the trash fights.
This is a fun fight.
I mean, I guess it's fine. I'm just, you know why? I'm just not a huge fan of either guy.
Yeah.
I'm okay. By the way, it's Miles Johns versus Dan Argueta at 135 at bantamweight. I actually don't mind Dan Argueta. By the way, when I was writing my notes, it said damn Argueta. Damn Argueta, like DAM, and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? He has a brother,
right?
And then I was like, no, it's just Dan
it's just him.
It was a typo. Yeah, and he's taking on Miles Johns. You know, I don't know what it is about Miles Johns. I'm pretty sure I've said this before on this very YouTube show.
On this podcast here.
Right.
This podcast right here, but you should be liking and subscribing to.
Yes.
So.
And hitting the bell and all that.
Yeah.
I just don't love his style. I don't know. I feel like the way that he bounces, it's like shift, bounce forward.
Miles Johns?
Bounce forward. I don't know.
You're saying Miles Johns?
Miles Johns, yeah. To me, it's like he has a very...
Because he's not a natural boxer. He's a wrestler.
I know.
And it's
so maybe that's exactly why. Because I trained boxing. That's like my base, let's say.
Right.
So watching him, I'm like, okay. Like, I would pick up on that right away. It's like, okay, you go side to side, forward. Side to side, forward. Next time you're coming forward, you're eating a fucking straight. Like, hard. So, I don't know. I don't love his style. He talks a lot of smack, and then he comes out low output. Very low output at times. Comes out flat. He's a good wrestler. He's a really good wrestler. He has, like, I think he was, like a captain of his wrestling team as a freshman. Yeah. So, he doesn't have, like, high credentials, but he's got a decent, sturdy wrestling background. Dan Argueta should be better on the feet for me. And to me, he's just the more aggressive fighter. He's just so much more aggressive. Miles Johns comes out flat at times. I truly believe Dan Argueta is better everywhere, personally.
Okay.
But for me, the difference is going to be the predictability of Miles Johns and the unpredictability of Dan Argueta, and also his just pure aggression. And he's just going to come out. He's going to go for it. And I think that's going to throw Miles Johns off. It's going to throw him off his game. I see a fairly comfortable 30-27 decision for Dan Argueta here.
All right, so I'm also going 30-27 Dan Argueta via Wrestle Fudge. But here's my thing. Miles Johns is a very good wrestler. We used to see that all the time. We have not been seeing it as of late. He got a knockout, started falling in love with his hands, as tends to happen with a lot of these wrestlers. I'm interested that it's interesting that you said Dan Argueta is better on the feet. I don't necessarily see it that way, but
maybe it's just the aggression that I see on the feet.
But that's the thing with Dan Argueta, right? Like, he's high motor, and especially last time, was it against Ronnie Lawrence?
The fight was,
So he got the no contest, but he was going to win that fight. He was dominating. He looked so damn fast in, like, his wrestling and his transitions.
And Ronnie Lawrence is a decent wrestler.
That's what I'm saying. So. Like, the explosiveness, it looked different. So I am going Dan Argueta here, and I'm
definitely the eye test is different.
Yeah, it's very different. I'm not gonna lie. I was convinced that on the show when he was on The Ultimate Fighter, I was like, I like this guy. He's from Illinois. Like, I'm rooting for him. I didn't think he was all that.
No, I didn't think so.
And then he didn't get to come to the UFC. He went to the LFA. He won there, and then they brought him on. Yeah. So he had to win a couple fights. So I remember following him through that journey.
Yeah.
It's like, hey man, he's pretty solid, Dan Argueta. Like,
he is. I mean, 9-1, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, Miles Johns has a good record too, but. Yeah, I don't really believe in him for whatever reason.
Yep.
So, moving on to the next fight of the night, it's my boy, Charles Jourdain, taking on Ricardo Ramos at 145. And again, you get the fun fight. What do you think about this one?
All right, Charles Jourdain versus Ricardo Ramos. Charles Jourdain, flashy, yo boy. Let's start with that.
My boy, absolutely.
Flashy striker, good power, good speed.
He's wild.
Good footwork.
I love it.
Great chin. He's always down to get into a dogfight and a
Sometimes
war.
too much. Sometimes too much.
Exactly.
To his detriment.
To his detriment, exactly. Charles Jourdain's like a fringe, my boy, by the way. He's not fully there for me, but I know he is a yo boy.
We'll take it. We'll let you in if we're not gonna
right. You're not
like gatekeep once you're ready to hop on.
There we go. He is very damn exciting to watch.
One of the funnest fighters.
Right, yeah. And I wanted to make that point and like make it firmly for you guys. He is super exciting. If you have friends that don't watch MMA, this is 100% the guy to show them.
Absolutely.
To get them interested.
Still pretty damn young. He's only 27 still.
Yeah. This is going to be a good fight because Ricardo Ramos, his opponent, is stupidly dangerous.
He's wild
in all facets.
He's
of the
like
game.
That Brazilian guy.
He's
He's that Brazilian
but like
guy.
A little older than those guys.
A little older, but like
he's that dangerous everywhere. Wild striking, has power, throws everything to kill, and then on the ground he's aggressive as hell. He's constantly looking for submissions. I think this has a possibility of being fight of the night. I am a little worried for Ricardo Ramos because he hasn't fought in a long time. It's been like 15, 16 months since he last fought. Either way, I am taking him by sub here, and I'll tell you why. Charles Jourdain last time out was fighting Kron Gracie. He beat the shit out of Kron Gracie. And as we know, Kron Gracie's a jiu-jitsu nerd. If you're scared of anything from Kron Gracie, it's the jiu-jitsu, right?
That's the one thing.
So I'm sure he was prepping for it. I'm sure he was really worried about it. But Kron Gracie was never able to get there because he is really bad on the feet compared to Charles.
And even
Jourdain.
just like trying to get you down.
Yeah, I'm saying he's really
like you know the jiu-jitsu meme where it's like come down here and fight me, bro.
Exactly.
Like that's literally Kron Gracie.
That's Kron Gracie. So whatever he has on the feet is not enough for Charles Jourdain. So Charles Jourdain didn't really have to worry too much about the ground game.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have some of those concerns here with Ramos. Also, if this does just play out on the feet, Charles Jourdain, a bit risky, man. He likes to bang. He does get cracked, though, all the time.
He does, but he's got a better chin than Ramos.
He does have a better chin than Ramos. I mentioned he has a great chin. I just worry that...
I actually think Ramos, especially as he's gotten older, I think the chin is going a little bit.
Maybe.
So, got KO'd by Lerone Murphy with some whack-ass little hammer
but Lerone Murphy has really good power. One more thing, and I'll let you go. I think the striking here is pretty much even.
I agree. I mean, I would give
maybe a tiny.
I would give it to Charles Jourdain overall.
I was gonna say,
maybe Ramos can. Let's be honest. Ramos can. He has more chance of a KO.
Yeah,
he's going to generate more power.
Of course,
but overall volume and accuracy and everything else, I give it to Charles Jourdain.
Right. So I was going to say maybe a slight edge to Charles Jourdain, but on the ground, I think the edge is a lot bigger for Ramos. So that's why I'm going him by sub. Let me hear what you got.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Charles Jourdain, man.
Two bad boys, by the way.
Absolutely. I mean, this can, like you said, man, this very much has fight of the night potential. Yeah. You never know, right? Like, what's going to be fight of the night? This has to be, like, the top contender, aside from, like, the main event, and maybe the co-main. But, yeah, I mean, I think Jourdain will actually be the more composed fighter here. I do think that if it stays on the feet, Ramos is going to... Charles Jourdain has pretty damn good cardio, all things considered. Ramos, I think, is going to gas out if he just throws constantly crazy shit, which he does. On the ground, I actually do think Charles Jourdain is going to be able to hold his own. And I don't love the fact that Ramos has taken a...
year and a half, pretty much.
Year and a half off. Yeah. He's not old or anything, you know, but... Yeah, you would actually think he is older than...
Same thing, yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? But... Yeah, I can't go against Charles Jourdain here, man. I think it's going to be a close fight. I'm going to go 29-28 decision for Charles Jourdain.
Is that our first fight that we're disagreeing on?
That's the first one that we're disagreeing on.
Wow.
All night so far.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next fight of the night, it's Bryan Battle taking on, at welterweight, AJ Fletcher. And this is another, actually, pretty interesting fight.
Bryan Pooh Bear Battle.
That's right. Damn.
Shout out Winnie.
We should get that. Oh, I love Winnie the Pooh, dude. We should get that signed. Dude, I fumbled the bag so hard earlier.
What happened?
There's some absolutely gorgeous girl walking her dog, and her dog is and I'm walking to a showing from my car, I had a showing, and her cute ass dog are walking out. The dog's walking up. She's looking at some shit on her phone, and the dog's walking up, and he's coming towards me, and I'm like, hey, I don't want no trouble.
Right.
And she starts laughing at that.
Okay.
And then she's like, oh, he's he's about to say he's not that friendly. Right. And then he's on me, and I'm like, hey, what's up, buddy? What's his name? And then she was shook off how the dog was being nice to me.
Yeah.
And she was maybe just senses nice people.
Okay.
And I was for sure. What's his name, Teddy? And I was killing it.
And you're usually like a Riz god.
I mean, I don't know about all that, but yeah, I mean, usually, yeah. But I think it was I was 2 minutes away from my showing. I got to get there. But dude, and as soon as I walked, I was hey, yeah, have a good one. I was was she flirting with you? Are you fucking stupid? What's wrong? I just had to share that because it's one of those things where it's been on my mind. Am I fucking stupid?
You might be.
I'm a pussy. Anyway, these guys both probably do crush pause though. I will say Bryan Battle and AJ Fletcher.
What do they do?
Crush pause.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, I like AJ Fletcher, man. I think the biggest thing here really is the 10-inch reach advantage.
I thought you were,
Oh!
I don't know, man. I'm just saying you were saying it with some
You think Bryan Battle or
you're talking about
AJ
what
Fletcher?
I don't know, but you're talking about what they do, maybe potentially.
I don't know, true. Damn, yeah. I was man, all right.
They crush something, and
they're crushing pause. Man, damn. It really makes you think. Sorry. But yeah, I like AJ Fletcher, man. He's a good wrestler. We saw him versus Themba Gorimbo, our boy, last time.
We did.
He looked pretty damn good in the wrestling against a decent wrestler. Brian Battle, not as good of a wrestler for sure. We saw him absolutely ragdolled by Rinat Fakhretdinov.
He was a high-level wrestler, though.
Super high-level wrestler, but, dude, he was getting absolutely ragdolled, which, that was crazy. And, he actually ended up doing kind of decent in that fight. So, respect to Brian Battle. On the feet, I just, AJ Fletcher, he's like that guy, right? He's like the wrestler. He's got some power. We've seen these guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just talked about one of these guys. I do think he can be better than some of those guys.
Okay.
But for me, God, Brian Battle's just so much of a better striker, and he's long, he's lanky, he's able to generate good power still, though. And we saw him get some nice, clean knockouts. For me, dude, a 10-inch reach advantage is just really tough to get.
Yeah, it's a ton.
And against to me, Brian Battle is a better technical striker than Themba Gorimbo.
He is.
So I know Themba Gorimbo is not a short guy either, but 10-inch reach advantage to a much better technical striker who also has good power. For me, I'm going by Brian Battle in a decently close fight, but I'm going to go Brian Battle by decision. 30-27, 29-28, I haven't decided, but definitely by decision.
Okay. Here's the way I'm looking at this fight. There's a couple things to look at, a couple ways to look at it. Brian Battle, as you mentioned, he lost to Rinat Fakhretdinov. We saw that's kind of where he struggles is when somebody's a heavy grappler.
Yep.
All credit to him.
He would
you
probably
said he
not
looked
like that if you called him that.
What?
A heavy grappler. He's working on himself. And
Fakhretdinov.
Yeah, sorry.
He's all right. I'm sure he's cutting weight for the fight soon. He's not that heavy.
It's not so bad.
But here's the thing. He lost to a heavy grappler.
Shout out Bill Bourbon, brother.
Yeah, shout out Bullet. He threw me out.
That was a cool noise.
That was really good. Okay, so he lost to a heavy grappler, right?
Yep.
And it seemed like he was out of his element there.
Yep.
And
you're talking about Battle?
Yep. And the Fakhretdinov fight. It seemed like he was just kind of outmatched. Here's the thing, though.
Dude,
Rinat Fakhretdinov.
The first thing he did is he picked him up and slammed the shit out of him.
Right.
So off the bat, that's got to set some sort of tone in your mind. Fuck.
That's what I'm saying.
There you go.
I'll give him kudos for not giving up in that fight. And
absolutely.
I'll give him kudos for not giving up because that was a very easy fight to just give up. You could just give your back up, give up the submission and it's over. He didn't do that, so kudos to him. Besides that, he's looked damn good in the UFC.
The machine gun shell's going to tear your back up.
Shout out 50.
On my life.
But
do you want to go to the concert, by the way?
50 Cent?
Yeah.
When is it?
November, I want to say.
Where?
United Center?
Potentially. Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
That's very, very likely.
Yeah.
So that's kind of been his only struggle in the UFC was the Rinat Fakhretdinov fight, and it was due to wrestle fudging.
Yep.
AJ Fletcher, he is a wrestler.
Yeah.
He has the ability to wrestle fudge if he wants to.
Yep, strong, powerful dude.
The thing is, we've seen him lose to guys that are strikers, and last time out, our boy Themba Gorimbo.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good fight.
It was.
And if Themba Gorimbo's...
AJ Fletcher did better than I thought he would.
Yes, he did. He definitely did. But if Themba Gorimbo is able to touch you up, I would assume that Brian Battle's able to touch you up.
Yep.
And for what it's worth, AJ Fletcher is not Rinat Fakhretdinov when it comes to the wrestling.
That's exactly the next point I was trying to make.
You know what I'm saying? He's a good wrestler.
That's all it is.
Yeah. But he's not. So
if you can look as good as you did versus this guy, you'll be able to handle AJ Fletcher.
I want to throw this out there too. AJ Fletcher tends to get tired later in the fights. Does. Brian Battle was fighting till the last second after
against a wrestler
getting ragdolled.
Yeah,
he was able to do that,
and we know how tiring that is, especially when it's not something that you're constantly.
Exactly. Yeah. So if AJ Fletcher is doing all that shit to Brian Battle, in the third round he might be in trouble. I'm assuming that's the way this fight's gonna go. Maybe he doesn't control Brian Battle that much. Maybe Brian Battle wins one of the first 2 rounds.
The length's going to come into play, man. I don't see him just holding him down.
I agree. So I think it's 1-1 going into the third. I think he's going to eventually get that TKO. I'm going Brian Battle by TKO. Fletcher will get gassed and eventually knocked out. Brian Battle, another guy I want to apologize to because I've said these guys from the Ultimate Fighter the last few seasons were not all that. He has been
You were higher on him than I was.
Yeah, and he's been impressive, dude. The guy can fight.
Yeah, another guy I haven't given enough credit to. AJ Fletcher, I was hoping he'd be a little bit better than what I feel like I've seen. Mm-hmm. He's still young enough. He still has time to improve. We'll see what happens. Moving on to just, my goodness, you know?
Yeah.
It's Marina Rodriguez taking on the karate hottie Michelle Waterson-Gomez.
See,
girl.
I do get all the fun fights.
It's a my girl. But listen, man, I love me some karate hottie. Why is this fight made, Dino Bam Bam?
Look, it's the second
Why
time.
has it been made? And it literally wasn't that long ago.
Right.
It wasn't an ambiguous finish, in my opinion. Do you feel differently?
No.
I don't know. And they're like, Michelle Waterson has lost every fight since then. But anyway,
Yeah.
What do you think?
Dude, I have to trust Marina Rodriguez here by decision, just like we saw 2 years ago, for those exact reasons. I don't think Michelle Waterson-Gomez, at this point, since she added the Gomez, I don't think she's gotten much better since adding Gomez.
I think she's gotten much worse.
That's what I'm saying. So she's
I don't think I've seen her look, let's say, threatening. I don't think I've seen her look truly threatening since then. And I'm not saying but I'm just saying roughly around that time period.
Right.
And I have that literally written down. It's like, it's been a few years, and I love her.
You do. She's your girl.
She's my girl. She's got a donkey. I like her personality. I like her style. She's got a fun style to watch, and she's tough, man. She goes...
And she's smart. She's well-rounded.
She's well-rounded. She's better than Marina Rodriguez, in my opinion, on the ground.
She's technically better on the feet, too, technically.
But Marina Rodriguez throws harder.
That's what I'm saying.
Karate Hottie has better kicks.
Yeah.
But Marina Rodriguez, like, the blows that she was throwing were landing hard. They were thudding. Karate Hottie doesn't throw like that, and she doesn't like to get that aggressive like Marina Rodriguez does in the clinch.
And I just want to throw this out there. Forget what happened with Amanda Lemos and Wei Li in that title fight. When Amanda Lemos and Marina Rodriguez fought in that main event a couple months back, that was essentially for a title shot, right?
Right.
And she was fighting for a title shot. That's where Marina Rodriguez was at.
Yep.
Then she ended up losing that fight. She ended up losing the next fight to Verna Janjanova, who I really think can beat the best girls in the world on a great night. I was just going
to say, I feel like that's somebody we have not given enough credit to.
Yeah, I always do. You know that's my girl, yeah.
You do.
Verna Janjanova can fight, dude.
Well, she can.
She can fight.
Oh, today's Habib's birthday.
Happy birthday, Habib.
I got to send him a text.
Hey,
brother.
You're like, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, my brother.
But here's the thing. She's like... Marina Rodriguez might be regressing.
They're both regressing.
Yeah, but she's not.
But Marina Rodriguez might be regressing more. That's my only thing.
She might be regressing more and harder at a faster rate, but she's been regressing for less time than the Karate Hottie.
Yes.
So, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm picking Marina Rodriguez by decision.
I am too, for what it's worth. Yeah. Me too. I am too, and I don't want to.
Right.
Marina Rodriguez, by the way, I did not realize she's 36.
Yeah.
When I was first watching film for this, I'm like, Marina Rodriguez is like 33.
Yeah.
And Michelle Waterson's like 37. She is 37. And Rodriguez is 36.
I remember Marina Rodriguez. I remember being surprised by her age when she fought Amanda Lemos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think she's looking more her age lately. So, I hate, when it's close, I hate picking against my guys or girls. Do you feel me?
100%.
But, how can I say it? It's close. But I truly, right now in my heart, do still feel that Marina Rodriguez is going to win. By decision. I don't... I can. If you're gonna bet anything, bet the over on whatever the hell it is. Bet this to go decision for sure. So,
do you think it would be good for Marina Rodriguez to move up to 125?
I do think so.
I think so too. I think with her long frame,
she's long as hell, bro. Yeah, and God, Karate Hottie, 18-11, and even okay, if you look at her record too, this is another thing, and I love her. I hate. It's I feel like I'm bashing my own kid when I'm bashing my guys are my girls. So, but lost 3 in a row, lost 5 of her last 6, and then even the Angie Overkill fight. Yeah. A lot of people thought that she lost that fight. Yep. So you almost lost 6 in a row, right? And it's a pretty damn good competition, except for the last one to Luana Pinheiro, which was a split decision, and I thought she won that personally. Yeah. But so if you look at it, it's Joanna Jedrzejczyk, Carla Esparza, Angie Overkill, Marina Rodriguez, Amanda Lemos. I get it, right? Before that, beat Karolina Kowalkiewicz, Felice Herrig.
My girl, Felice Herrig. Shout out Felice Herrig.
That was a win over Van Zandt. Man, what's all that movement back there? That's what I would have been saying during that fight.
To Paige Van Zandt?
Both of them. Oh. Well, Paige is much thicker now than she used to be, but
yeah. Let's not comment on that.
But yeah, man, I hate to do it. I might text you That's my new thing, by the way.
That's his new thing. He's been doing it. He's like, let the record show I'm changing. I was like, dude, nobody gives a fuck.
I just want it to know, like, if I end up changing and it happens, I want the world to know, meaning our 168 subscribers, last time I checked.
169, maybe?
Oh, nice. That, then I can be like, yo, just so y'all know I had said this lady, I changed it to this lady. Had the opposite happened once I changed it, I would have unsent the message and just said, like, told you guys. Like,
right. I feel that. That's a sly-ass move. I might pull that. Anytime a fight's close, I might pull that.
No, I'm going to start screenshotting it if you send that now, though.
I'm doing the same. So
fuck. All right,
you're going to call me and shit now?
Yeah. No, the record has to be written.
Okay.
So, anyway, anything else on this? We spent too much time on it.
Yeah, we did. God.
Moving on to the co-main event, and it's Bryce Mitchell.
Two absolute my boys. I
Versus
like both of these
Dan
guys.
Ige. I don't know that they're my boys. I wouldn't call them that, but I do really like both these guys. This is the quintessential grappler versus striker.
Yeah.
It doesn't get more extreme than this. Bryce Mitchell is not good on the feet. Dan Ige is not bad on the ground.
Right.
But Bryce Mitchell is really, really good as a grappler.
Yeah.
And Dan Ige what's the best part of his game is boxing.
Right.
His boxing is really, really good. So last time out, we saw Bryce Mitchell get pretty much dismantled by Ilia Topuria.
Yeah.
In the grappling too, to be quite frank. Like, that was kind of a little bit shocking to me.
Off-putting?
Oh, sure. I just didn't expect him to take it to him in his own style. Basically, once Ilia saw that, like, oh, this guy can't even take me down, he's like, I'm loading up, I'm throwing bombs, because he has absolutely nothing for me on the feet. So, Bryce Mitchell, that's the biggest thing here, right, is he is just, it's not that he's like, oh, he's mostly around, he's just not a good striker. Yeah. So, Dan Ige is definitely more well-rounded. For me, really the only question of this fight is, will Dan Ige be able to keep this fight standing?
Right.
So, I don't know. It's really tough for me. At this point, I'm leaning Bryce Mitchell. I think he's got something to prove. It's so tough, man. This one is really, really tough. But I think I am leaning Bryce Mitchell just because in that particular style matchup, when you have somebody who's the better grappler, the better wrestler, that just tends to be the better matchup. And I know we saw Dan Ige look pretty damn good against Damon Jackson. Damon Jackson's not as good of a wrestler, though. I would say he's more just a straight submission threat. You know what would you agree with that?
Yeah.
But I guess at this point, I am leaning Bryce Mitchell. It's really, really close for me, though. What are the odds on this one, by the way?
It's like Bryce Mitchell is an underdog, I believe.
Is he really?
Like a slight dog. Let me check it. I got it right here. He is minus 160. Yeah. So, yeah, he's the favorite.
Man, that might be enough to sway me betting-wise to Dan Ige, but I guess for the sake of right now, I'm going to go Bryce Mitchell by decision. Yeah, by decision. If it was a 5-rounder, maybe I'd feel a little differently, but by decision.
Okay. First of all, like I said, two my boys. Love both these dudes. Two great nicknames, Thug Nasty and 50K.
Absolutely. So, 50K. Dan, 50K Ige.
It sounds perfect.
It's amazing.
It's just like, it's a good nickname and it fits perfectly. Mm-hmm. Like the three Dan, 3 letters, Ige's 3 letters, 50K, 3, Sounds awesome. Great nicknames. I need to know what they drink before I give you my answer, though.
Dude, Bryce Mitchell drinks like Steel Reserve.
Hell yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
I like that.
Yeah. Whereas Dan Ige, like...
you're just breaking it down.
Huh?
Okay. You're just breaking it down full. You're confident in this one. Okay.
I'm not confident. I'm just trying to look at him, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, is he black?
I think he's half black. He might be half Filipino. That might just be me, like, judging what he looks like, but...
What the fuck?
Yeah. No, he's Hawaiian. He's Hawaiian.
He's Hawaiian?
Yeah, not Filipino. So that's where that comes from. Yeah. What am I talking about? I know he's from Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What are you thinking? He's thinking hard about this one. While he's doing that, why don't you let us know what they drink? And also follow, subscribe, like, all that shit.
I'm going to go like a gin soda.
Okay, I like that. That's my drink.
That's one of my drinks, too.
That's what I'm saying.
You put me on, really.
If anyone ever asks, what do they drink?
If anybody
nobody cares.
Right?
Nobody ever has asked us, like...
Wow, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, they literally see me just putting away whiskey.
Right, but like they don't know what's in those other cups, those other times.
That's true.
But I'm just saying, nobody's ever cared to be like, oh, what do they drink?
That is kind of mean, though.
I'm just saying, but I'm a gin soda guy. Anyways, I don't want to waste too much time. You're right. It is simple. It's about, can Bryce Mitchell get a takedown or get takedowns and hold Dan Ige down? If he can, easy road to victory. If he can't, it's an easy road to victory for Dan Ige.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But you look at the Barbosa fight, but Barbosa's like a nothing. He's got good jiu-jitsu, but a nothing in the wrestling.
Right.
So Bryce Mitchell dominated him. But then when he fought somebody who's pretty well-rounded, more well-rounded than him and better than him in both aspects, Ilia Topuria got dominated.
Okay, so how much of that is Edson Barbosa obviously not being the Edson Barbosa of 8 years ago compared to Ilia Topuria being...
I do think
very
Edson Barbosa
high level
in his prime knocks Bryce Mitchell the fuck out in the first round.
I agree with you. But what I'm saying with the Ilia Topuria fight...
Also, doesn't Bryce Mitchell have some stuff going on?
He has a lot of shit going on. He has like the stuff with his ex-girlfriend and like whatever. He's got a ton of stuff going on.
So, man.
I want to say this, though.
I'm sorry.
When it comes to Ilia Topuria, right?
Yeah.
Like, Bryce Mitchell has said he was sick. I know, excuses are excuses. Like, we don't know how true that is, how not true it is. But regardless of the fact,
honestly, I don't like
how much of that fight do you attribute to Ilia Topuria just being next level? Like Ilia, I think
he's
very
next level.
highly of him.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
I thought highly of him
for a while,
for years.
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
Like,
so
before he debuted in the UFC, I thought highly of him.
So how do we, how do you weigh that?
It's tough because then really the question is who was Barbosa. And what percentage of his prime was he? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he's clearly not.
He's clearly not.
Yeah.
But
because I think Edson Barbosa in his prime beats Giga Chikadze as well.
Oh, hard.
Like,
hard.
Yeah.
And we honestly, especially we've seen Giga kind of exposed recently too.
I'm saying.
So anyway, what's your decision?
I'm going. I just want to say this one more thing. A year ago, I'm easily picking Bryce Mitchell. A year ago, I'm easily picking Bryce Mitchell before the Ilia Topuria fight. Before the injury.
Yeah.
Before the injury, before the Topuria fight, 100% I'm taking him. Especially because Dan Ige was on a losing streak. He was on like a 3-fight losing streak.
Oh, he's getting his ass kicked.
All of a sudden, he's looking good.
Yeah.
Bryce Mitchell looks a little exposed.
So you're saying you're going with recency bias.
I'm not going with recency bias. I'm going against it.
Okay.
I'm taking Bryce Mitchell for the reason that I think he will get it to the ground and get that sub and stay true to who he is, but more so for the sake of the promotion.
Yeah.
And the organization. Like,
We've
they
seen
need
that
Bryce
Dan
Mitchell.
Ige.
Yeah.
It would be better for the promotion for sure.
Yeah.
Well said, because we've seen Dan Ige and what he can be at his best.
Yeah.
And it's pretty fucking good.
Oh, it's really good.
It's a
fun.
top 6-7 guy, but it's not a top 3 guy.
Right.
And there's a difference. If you know the sport, you know that there's a difference. I am going to switch my pick, though. I am going to take Dan Ige.
Okay. How are you taking him? Pause. But
man,
it's
I'm gonna go by TKO in the 3rd round.
Okay. Interesting.
All right, we're at the main event of the evening, and this is a banger. At 155, it's Rafael Fiziev versus Mateusz Gamrot. Dino Bam Bam, take us away.
Okay, I want to point out Rafael Fiziev, Mateusz Gamrot. Huge fight, big implications for the division. This card is not a phenomenal card. This fight is a very, very good fight. It's very important. This main event is what fight night main events should be.
Absolutely.
Am I right? And
absolutely.
Okay, so
and you know what? The co-main is good too.
The co-main is good, and that's what I wanted to say. These last 2-3 fights, like even with Michelle Waterson, Marina Rodriguez. Not the most exciting fight, but I get it. I'm cool with that being on the main card of a fight night. This is how you end a fight night.
Yep.
And kudos to the UFC for doing that. They're not doing that the next 2 cards, but those cards are kind of better on the prelims.
I can't believe you told... Okay.
But those cards are kind of better on the prelims. Their main cards are kind of so-so. Anyways.
I just want to say real quick.
Yeah.
I do think that this is a good parlay betting card.
Yeah, I mean, there's some easy ones.
There's some odds that are like a little...
There's some fishy odds,
and
right?
then there are some like pretty straightforward fights.
Agreed. So let's get into this fight. The first things first, this is striker versus grappler. We know that.
Absolutely.
There is literally no other way to look at this fight than that. There's something I'm sure of. Mateusz Gamrot, tends to get rocked in his fights.
Yeah.
That is going to happen. We saw it with Beneil with the wild-ass overhand. We saw it with, I believe, Arman Sarukian. Like, he gets dropped.
Jalen Turner didn't drop him, but...
Yeah, cracked him. So here's the thing. He's going to get dropped at some point in this fight. That doesn't mean he's getting knocked out. That just means that's going to happen. And then, on the other hand, I think if he is able to survive that onslaught that's coming from Fiziev, who's super fast... Like,
so
the speed is mind-blowing.
Oh, it's probably the fastest hands.
Yeah.
In the...
And the kicks are, like, whippy as hell.
At 155. And not, like, Gaethje power, obviously, as we saw last time. But
he's got scary power.
But pretty damn good power.
So, the thing that shocks me with Fiziev is, like, the whippiness of his kicks.
Absolutely.
They're stupidly explosive. The guy is very, very damn entertaining. Super. I know we mentioned earlier on the card Charles Jourdain being entertaining. Fiziev is another level of entertaining. Fiziev is in that Michael Chandler, Justin Gaethje realm of entertaining.
Yes.
As a striker.
And I don't think most people have recognized that yet.
I don't think so either. So that's what
Unless
I'm doing.
Unless you are like a true, like you watch all his fight. You know what I mean?
The guy is exciting as hell. It's tough for me to pick for this fight. It's a very close one. I think Fiziev is way better on the feet, and he is very dangerous.
I think that's the difference. I just think Mateusz Gamrot is not. Fiziev's not like bad on the ground.
Yeah.
I think Mateusz Gamrot might be like kind of bad on the feet.
Okay, interesting. So
like he plays it safe and he knows what he's good at on the feet.
Yeah.
But I think he's gonna get exposed in this.
So let me say this: very dangerous, very good on the feet, Rafael Fiziev. We've seen small cardio issues. We've seen him gas towards the end of fights.
Oh man!
So there is that issue, right?
I had a lot of money on him versus Gaethje. Oh, a lot of money.
And then on the other hand, Mateusz Gamrot, some of the weaknesses that you don't want against Fiziev, he has. He is hittable, Dino, and he gets dropped. So anytime
but he does
that
have the
happens,
better cardio for sure.
He has the better cardio and he has the better wrestling. And he is absolutely relentless. Like, we talk about guys like Merab, and people make a joke, right? People joke about Merab Dvalishvili and, like, the way he fights. Mateusz Gamrot is very similar to Merab in the sense that he's going to shoot, and if he doesn't get it, he's going to shoot.
But not only that, but, like, his scrambles, I would say, are second to none.
They're top tier.
If you watch him, when he fought Sarukian, when he fought Beneil, like when he fights other good wrestlers, you get to see
world-class grappling,
and then he pops out, he stands out. You know,
the thing with the Beneil fight and the Arman Sarukian fight, those guys, like, those are high-level grapplers.
Yes,
Beneil was able to control him a little more than Sarukian was.
He was, and I think Beneil has more power than Sarukian.
Beneil has more pop than Arman Sarukian.
You know what I mean?
And that played into it, right? Anyways, I want to say I would not be surprised if this fight ends in any way for both of these guys. I can see Fiziev with a knockout. I can see Fiziev by decision where Gamrot's not able to take him down, not able to do the things he wants to do, and Fiziev's able to make it a stand-up fight and just beats his ass. I can see it with Mateusz Gamrot riding out a decision by wrestle fudging him, and then I could see him getting a TKO on the ground or a submission on the ground. Regardless of that, here's what I'm going. I'm going Rafael Fiziev. I'm at like 55% confidence on this one.
Same.
And
I'm going with the same guy and with the same level of confidence.
That's what I'm saying. So Rafael Fiziev, 55% confidence. It's an unreal top 10 155 fight. I'm going Fiziev by decision. Same. I think it's going to be an all-out war. Maybe that's wishful thinking. And maybe the reason I'm picking Fiziev is because...
It's kind of crazy that you say that because we both agreed that his cardio is not as good.
Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know. But we'll see what happens.
Because I guess the assumption is that he's tagging Mateusz Gamrot on the feet.
Making him more
tough. If that's the case, he's winning. He's got to... I don't think there's an in-between. I think if Fiziev's winning, it's a decision, he should be winning fairly handily.
Like, right, where Gamrot looks kind of sloppy and
he's
sloppy shooting.
He's getting worked. Exactly.
Yeah. So, look, I think this is going to be a great fight. I think there's so many outcomes. It could be
no question
fight of the night. I just want to throw this in, though. I find myself more and more interested in Rafael Fiziev as a fighter. That Gaethje fight was super entertaining and a very close fight, and he showed what
Gaethje did to Poirier.
He showed what caliber fighter he is. And then on the other hand, with Mateusz Gamrot, a guy that I've been notoriously like pretty low on.
I've been pretty high on him.
He lost to Beneil Dariush, which was, it is what it is. He beat Arman Sarukian. I don't know that he won that fight, but God, this guy can wrestle his ass off.
Man, he also beat Jalen Turner, don't forget.
That's what I'm saying. So 55%, it might change like you do, and we'll go for the record and shit, but for now, Fiziev.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Everything, you said it like you took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah, so
I have nothing to add.
Fiziev in a war.
Fiziev in a war, but like...
Kind of winning it, yeah.
It's tight, man. Like, the logic doesn't make sense to me.
At all.
What we just said, like, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it does. Like, that, like, I think I described it well, where it's like, maybe Gamrot wins that first round with his grappling. And then in the second, he feels the power. He gets caught a little bit.
Right.
And then the third, like, he gets dealt damage, right? And then it's like, the fourth, maybe he wins it through some scrambles. And then the fifth, it's like...
Kind of finds a position.
Right.
And
like the damage is accumulated. Like, maybe one of his eyes is swelling shut. Like, Fiziev's tagging him because he's so goddamn fast. He's never seen speed like that.
Right.
So...
And potentially a decision where if this was Noche UFC, Noche Poland,
God, yeah.
Noche Warsaw, or Noche Kyrgyzstan, we know it would go one way. Yeah. But since it's not, thankfully,
we don't have like a
thank God we don't have.
We don't have like a default like I'm leaning. Like, I'm not sure it's close. I'm leaning this way. Yeah.
Like a very close round is a 10-8, but that's another story for another day. I'm just excited that we get this unreal fight, and I'm excited that this isn't Noche some shit.
Yeah, listen, it's not a great card, and I agree with you 100% on that. I'm glad it's not themed. It's been a hot minute. 2 great fights at the top. 2 cute girls on the card. And then like a couple...
An OnlyFans model, some interesting prelims.
Karate Hottie as booty, dude. For an Asian chick, booty.
Let's get it.
Marina Rodriguez.
Bryan battle.
Bryan.
What are we doing here? This has gone off the fucking rails.
But...
Besides shitting on these poor ladies, anything else you would like to say?
Listen. I would give her a little kiss.
She doesn't want it. She likes women.
I wouldn't. I don't want to, but I would. Like, if she's like... I'd be like...
So you'd force it on her?
No, I'd be like, it's okay.
Fala galera.
Right. That's it, man. That's all I got for you. I agree with you fully on the main. I'm hoping for at least a couple good fights here. Is this a regular timed card?
It's 6 p.m. main card. 6 p.m. Central Time main card.
Okay.
So a little early, which is nice. I like that they're doing that, so we don't have to ruin our entire Saturday nights watching bullshit at midnight. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't be upset with this fight being at midnight because this is the kind of fight that needs to be on the top of a fight night card, not like Bobby Green and Grant Dawson. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
regardless, we're gonna talk about
hate that.
We're gonna talk about that bullshit next week, and then there's another one that's like terrible after that. I forget what it's. Edson Barbosa and Sadiq Youssef. Do those guys deserve to be a fight night main event? No. Why don't you take Bryce Mitchell and Dan Ige and just give them 2 more weeks and make them the fucking main event?
Literally.
Anyways, I should be matchmaker, guys. Please, if you enjoyed, hit the little
let us
like
know
button.
If you think he should be matchmaker.
Right. Let me know that. Should I be? I can be. Hit the little thumbs up. Subscribe. We're at 169, which is a phenomenal number. 69. I get it.
So that means we just have to get to 269 super quick.
Right. So if y'all could help us out with that, we would really appreciate it. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you want to talk about. Follow us on Instagram, V107MMA. He is DS. And do you want to say something?
I do. Yeah. Let us know how you like this like weirdly zoomed in view. This is like a new development.
We're trying some weird different shit for y'all.
Yeah. We're just trying to figure out what works.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Let us know. So guys, he is DS. I'm Dino Bam Bam. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.